Welcome back to World Beater Wrestling. This is a chain wrestling flow roll with South Australia's Matt Hayter. This is actually a series I've been meaning to launch for a long time, where I just basically have flow rolls with different wrestlers from around the country, around the world, just whoever's in town, whoever's around. Whether it's interesting or not, I guess time will tell, and you can let me know in the comments. But for those who don't know, what a flow roll essentially is a very light spar. So there's no strikes, there's no real slams. It's just kind of chain wrestling, just hold for hold wrestling. I would say at about 60%. You often see it in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and a flow roll just is hold to hold to hold. So you never really want to be holding on to something for too long. You don't want to lock people up in too many tight pretzels or anything like that. You kind of just want to keep flowing through as best you can. You'll notice in this, there are definitely varying degrees of intensity. There's times when we're going pretty light. There's times where it looks like it ramps up. But really, it's just all about trying new things, being playful, and just kind of seeing where you land. And for me, a longtime fan of hold-for-hold chain wrestling and technical wrestling, I love just trying new things. I love just kind of using some of the principles that we already know and just seeing what comes out of it. And yeah, you make mistakes, but sometimes you come up with some absolute gems. So I will give a little bit of commentary, a little bit of insight into what's going on here. We already missed the first minute or so, but Hayter right now has me in a front headlock. He's gone into a bit of a gator roll. A little switch out from myself trying to break the grip, but can't. He's got a pretty good lock on there. One thing I should probably mention as well, I think where a lot of people go wrong with chain wrestling is they don't really go by feel. They kind of want to get to something so badly that they take inefficient or ineffective pathways to get there. The best part about this for me is that I can just clear my head and just try things. It doesn't matter whether you get stuck, whether you don't get to where you want it to be. I feel like this is the best way to be creative and to find new things that work for you. So here I've just got a hammerlock using the leg to trap, looking for the face lock, but I can't get it. So I've just hooked a little fisherman's hook, cradled him over. Now I'm searching for a topside Kimura or double wrist lock. But he does have his hands blocking and a rope break. So now with the back, tried to prevent him from getting the lock. And right there, that was a really, really nice mat return by Hayter, which I just taught the group, so let's pretend like it was my teaching that got in there. But you'll notice that I went for the double wrist lock. I was going to go for a little takedown from there. I actually put myself into a really terrible position to be mat returned. So good learning experience for myself. But that's the beauty of chain wrestling, the beauty of grappling. Sometimes some of your offensive positions become really good offensive positions for your opponent. So Hayter's shooting through for the headlock, or the Kezugatami in judo or grappling. Trapping the arm, which is a really good strategy. Takes one of the defenses for myself out of the way. But he did leave his leg slightly open for me to open the hip. I actually could have got a really cool twister there, but it turns into a bit of a scramble. So I've got the leg caught, trying to cut the angle coming out to 90 degrees. Hayter sprawled out with the leg, which made it pretty tough. And then I just hit a little sucker drag, which doesn't look very impressive. But, it takes a bit of work, takes a bit of technique. A really, really good counter for the front headlock. We've been working on the sucker drags lately at the EPW School of Pro Wrestling. Headlock takedown, going into a little armbar here. I have actually shown this on a previous episode of World Beater Wrestling. Headlock takedown into the armbar. I think we get to a rope break here. Not yet. Stacking me up. good strategy, going to the pin. Usually you'd want to try to get your elbow out as you are stacking, but we have another rope break. From here with the leg, I tried to keep my leg on the outside. When the leg's between the two knees, it makes it very easy to be taken down, but got it on the outside, got a little Kimura sweep from there, but wasn't efficient, wasn't tight enough on getting the Kimura or continuing on and getting an armbar or any other submission or control position. That right there, that's one of my favorite sweeps as of late. It's kind of like a half Nelson using the leg to trip, normally ending up in side control or mount, but Hayter scrambled back out of that. He just used the arm drag there, real classic grappling style arm drag, which gets you in an awesome position for that mat return, which I really should have seen coming considering it happened previously, but it is what it is. Again, attacking the leg, cutting the angle, just switching sides, and knee on belly, which can be a very uncomfortable position. The reason why I'm doing the knee on belly here is hopefully to open up the armpit, which you can see me digging for, and then a leg drag there to get top position. I think chain wrestling and any form of grappling is at its best when you can kind of think and move ahead, and you can throw out little decoys, you can throw out little distractions which cause a reaction from your opponent, and then you take advantage of that. I think that's some real high level stuff when you can start to throw that out, but it does take lots of reps, lots of practice. So here it kind of looks like I'm trying to pretzel the legs. Really, I'm just trying to get my arm out. So I was just using that as a way to get my arm out. Spinning little leg breaker, knee breaker, rolling through into the ankle lock. I am almost certain I've covered that in a previous episode of World Beater Wrestling also. But that's one of my favorites from my moveset, which I got from my old trainer, Akudo Hidaka, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. I just used the cravat there for the snapmare. I really like using the cravat. It's a tighter lock, less room for error, and not many people use it anymore. Hayter clever countered my chin lock attempt into the wrist lock using my momentum to roll through. Failed attempt to bring him down to a lower level, and now I am somewhat trapped. So just rolling through, heavy on the stack, getting like a low side control, and then quick switch into mount, threaten the big combat jiu-jitsu slap to the face. But we're being kind to our partners today, of course. From here, I had the triangle kind of set up, but I wanted to attack the leg and go into an STF, so switched over to the almost like a straight knee bar, but obviously got the ropes before I could move on from there. Knuckle locks now. Greco-Roman knuckle lock. The classics. Whenever there's a good Greco-Roman, there's always a good bridge that follows. It's a nice bridge, nice wrestling move for a change. From here, using the S grip, and then moving over into almost a setup for a tequila sunrise. Unfortunately, couldn't get the cloverleaf, but the half crab was still there. Rolled through, I scrambled out. Don't want none of that. I always really make it a point as well in these kind of flow rolls to try not to go to the same move twice. Obviously, if you're pretty new to chain wrestling, you may have to at times, but if you can try to limit yourself to only hitting the same move once, and then you're kind of going to put yourself into situations where you got to think, and you got to start to move into different body parts and different levels that you haven't touched before, because that's really the only way to keep it fresh. And also, if you've drilled anything during training, another great opportunity to practice that in a almost real-time situation. And I believe this is the end of the flow roll. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that. There will be more to come.
If you want to see more videos like this, click on the subscribe button, spread the word, and if you have any questions or requests for World Beater Wrestling, don't be afraid to comment below.